so let's start by team here. And I have a rule in the X Factor game. In fact, Nelly, cut this music. Give me X Factor music. I want some sort of music behind this as we
This is X Factor. They launched the career of One Direction, that show
okay,
with Simon Cowell.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect. Can't be guys like the obvious ones, right? Joker is not an X Factor. Joker needs to play well for you to win. I put Jamal in that category too. Jamal cannot be an X Factor because he needs to play well to win. For the Avs, MacKinnon, Makar off the table, and I'm taking goaltender off the table. That's also obvious. So let's start with the Avs.
Well, it's an easy one. Who's the biggest X Factor on this team?
Val.
It's exactly right.
Yeah.
13. Val Nichushkin.
There you go.
He wears number 13, by the way. Does Val Nichushkin?
Does
everybody know that? Valeri Nichushkin. Who told you that? Anyway, the point is that when that guy is on, they are almost unbeatable. Because everybody else does their job and kicks major butt. He's a huge X factor.
I have another name for you if you'd like.
All right. I mean, he was this season. Overall, this season, he wasn't a point a game guy, but he was virtually.
Yes. I think Val is probably the right answer. I'm going to throw out another one. Something that the Avs had when they won the championship that they haven't had since. When they won the cup.
Fourth line?
Yes, one of those. I think it's Brock Nelson. Second line center, Naz Kadri, was a huge difference maker. If Brock Nelson can be anywhere close to what Kadri was during that playoff run, I think it would be massive to boost out your top line along. I think the third and fourth lines are going to be fine. I think they're going to win their matchups.
Good answer.
But if Nelson can do that in the middle and be your Kadri, I think it's huge.
Well, they both
we need to be more supportive of each other, like Family Feud. When somebody answers a question, the rest of the family says, "Good answer." We need to do that.
Hey, Vic, come over and give me a little kiss.
No, seriously, we need to be. We're a little too hard on one another. We need to be more supportive.
I mean, how about Richard Dawson though?
Yeah, you can't just be making out with.
I mean, how about that guy? He's making out with the guy's wife and his two daughters, and you're like, whoa, dude.
Good answer, Richard. Good answer.
Think about the power move that is. I'm going to walk right in front of you
and kiss your
wife on the mouth.
And then your teenage daughter. I mean, come on, man. Anyway, so the point. Thanks, Nelly. Good call.
Then he walks up to the son. Yeah, how you doing? Don't care.
Yeah, screw you.
Yeah, what do you do? You work at a factory? Cool.
Hey, Charlie Coyle and Brock Nelson both had 13 points in 19 games. Which is pretty damn good. If you extrapolate that out, and I know you hate that word, Vic. I know you hate it. But if you're talking about like 70 points for a guy, it's pretty dang good, man. You know, these guys are...
It's not that I hate the word. You don't have to use the word out after extrapolate. Extrapolate essentially means out when you take it for what it means. So you don't have to say extrapolate
is that that Notre Dame education being paid off here?
When you extrapolate. You don't have to say extrapolate
out.
What are you going to extrapolate in?
Hey, Vic, how often do they touch up the paint on Touchdown Jesus?
Hang on a second. Vic, I finally got to where you were going. You just said a whole bunch of words, though, when you were trying to explain it.
I did.
Good
answer. Good answer.
Good answer. Good answer.
Good answer. Good answer.
Good answer.
All right. How about to the Nuggets? There's a few different ones. I'll say what I think is the obvious one. I think it's Porter. Porter knocks down shots consistently. This team is really, really hard to beat. Really hard.
He was making them yesterday, but, practice is one thing. Game time is another. He was on fire yesterday. I was watching him at practice, and at one point I think he hit 10 out of 12. Listen, he's thinking about it. He knows that it's important. He understands how vital his jump shot will be and has been to the success of this team. Will he be able to quiet down those noises during the course of a game? Because as a shooter, man, it's like putting, right? When you hear the noises, it's harder to execute.
Yep.
You got to eliminate the noises.
Well, MPJ has the ability to bail you out.
Yeah. I've got another X factor, by the way, and it's not MPJ.
Well, if MPJ is making shots, Vic, and they're forced to go to the perimeter to defend him hard.
Yeah.
Boy, does that open things up down low. I mean, I think it's a huge factor.
One more thing on MPJ, and then we'll get your other one. When MPJ is hitting shots, and I think this is what could be very important this postseason, as opposed to others, I think the Nuggets I'm not convinced that their defense is just magically better. and I think they're going to have to win some track meet games, that they're going to need his shooting in order to win those. Like, if you need to put up 130 points to win the game, you can't do that if Porter's off. So I think that's where he can help you. But who do you got, Vic? Who are you thinking of?
I'm going to tell you, I'm going to start with a statistic right now. The Denver Nuggets this season have won 85% of their games in which they have fewer turnovers than the opposition. If they can handle their turnover situation, just don't cough it up, protect the rock as much as you can. Hell, they've had games where they've had 18 turnovers, but the opposition's had 20. So fewer turnovers than the opposition, and they usually win. That's why my key to the game, and if you looked at the Nuggets, the way they played the last 3 games of the season, hard to believe that I'm saying the guy that the key to the game is a dude who averaged about 20 minutes per in the last 3. It's Russell Westbrook.
Good answer. Good answer.
Good answer.
Good answer.
Yeah.
Because the second unit, number one, is going to be key. The non-Jokic minutes always are. The Clippers have a little more depth than the Nuggets. We know this. The non-Jokic minutes are always crucial to their success. You cannot come in and cough the ball up. You can't give the game away. You have to just sort of continue building.
But Vic,
I thought they were perfect in that endeavor of the last 3 games of the season.
Let me stop you there because I want you to add more on there. But doesn't he have to
extrapolate, if you will?
Not extrapolate out, just extrapolate.
Doesn't he have to, though, play his game with his hair on fire like always? So you have to take just a little bit of that?
Well, you're going to get a little bit of it. It's part of the nature of his game. You're going to get it. But I'm telling you, possessions are everything in the playoffs. Every possession is vital. It matters. You have to value each possession. You can't go a possession without attempting a shot. Live ball turnovers. They will be the end of the Nuggets if they don't handle it in this series.
I think you're right. I mean, it was
possession after possession.
No.
After possession.
No.
After possession.
You know what the
After
thing is?
Nelly,
possession.
I will
After
stab you.
possession.
I'll have to.
I think, what was the stat, Vic? I think the last 2 games of the season, Russell Westbrook played a combined 15 minutes in which he had 3 turnovers. And you won pretty comfortably in those games because of that. Like, it's huge. It's huge.
The Nuggets, again, statistically speaking, if the Nuggets protect the rock, the Nuggets win. Their offense is that good. They're that efficient. They get off that many shots. You want to attempt more shots than the opposition, especially if your defense is not good. You notice how I didn't say anything about, oh, man, play defense. That's not what they are. They're not going to stop you.
Yeah.
We're beyond that. All right, let's not pretend that the Nuggets are going to reinvent themselves defensively and
Totally
turn into
agree.
the Pistons of old. That's not happening. This is what they are. So if you're not going to defend, you better value each possession.
After possession.
Like,
Oh, my gosh.
like I said,
Why does that drive me? Why does that drive me so insane?
because
Because
it
he
was
does
insane.
it so robotically.
That it sounds like Nelly just copied 5 seconds of a post game and just replayed it over and over again. It's actually eerie.
It just drives
How
me.
close he
it
sounds the
drives
same
me
every time.
nuts.
But to Vic's point, like, I do think that you're going to have to win some track meet games. And they're certainly capable. They've done it. They've won games 130 to 127 this year. Now, I don't think you can do that consistently over a postseason or you're going to get burned by that because you're just going to have off nights. It's going to happen. So the defense needs to be at least a little bit better than it was in the regular season. Like, I don't.
Well, I mean, those final 3 games, they gave up 116, 109, 111.
I think the 109s and 111s, 116, I think should be like their goal. You know, the old Scott Hastings number.
That would be the max, right? That would be the max you can allow.
The Nuggets teams of the last couple of years, what was the number that Hastings always threw out, Vic?
120 was offense.
It should be. If they can get to a place where it's like, if you put up 120, you win, then I think you're in good shape. Anything other than that, I think, is asking too much of this team. Yeah, there's not. How many Munders did we have this year, Vic? Like 2?
All those old stats of 120, those don't matter anymore. The
Mm-hmm.
Nuggets are a different team. This is a team that scores a lot and gives up a lot, and you're not going to reinvent yourself in the postseason. So if you're hoping for defensive gems, hope no more. You better hope that you value the rock. Hope that you just outshoot and outscore your opposition.
Can I ask you something, by the way? Because I tossed this same question out in the appetizer to some people listening. A couple of people had this answer for the Nuggets for an X Factor. Saw a few Peyton Watsons out there. Okay, I get that. Peyton Watson's probably going to be a big part of your rotation. Some people said Adelman because he is a sort of an enigma right now. You don't know what his strategies are. You don't know what different things he can employ. He's going to be a little bit different than Malone. But what do you think about that? And I guess the basic question is, how much impact do you think the coach has on a basketball team in the postseason?
Well, there's a rotational impact. Who's going to play down the stretch? And he's already proven, and he said this before the win against Memphis at home. He said, I'm going to play 5 guys who are playing their best to finish games. I'm going to play the 5 guys playing their best to finish games. Did you notice who finished that Memphis game when they won? Russ was on the court. MPJ was on the bench.
Yeah.
He did it because Russ's defense was phenomenal that night. Okay?
Well, in the first game that he coached, he had Pickett finish the game.
Yes. And so I trust him employing that tactic. It's not about who's entitled to play.
Right.
Who's playing the best in that moment.
Yeah, the decisions that are made by the coach at certain times make all the difference in the world. And we'll see what kind of X factor the coach will be.
Bro.
Clearly he has their ears because it worked in the final 3 games of the regular season. Now, again, you have to respect your coach. You have to believe in what he's saying, that what he's giving you is the proper information. All that is a factor, but it appears that he has their attention.